morning, guys. This week in math, we are going to be learning about graphs, different types of graphs, and how to read them and figure out what information they are giving us so that we can answer questions about them. So this morning, the kids that got on Zoom, we went over this together. That's why the answers are already on there. But for those of you who weren't able to get on, I'm going to go over it with you. And this page is in your packet for today. So our graph is titled Favorite Pet. And in this graph, it is telling us about 3 different pets, a hamster, a dog, and a cat, and the number of children in a class who voted on which pet was their favorite. Okay? So for the hamster, there are 5 boxes that are shaded in. So that tells us that there are 5 children who voted the hamster was their favorite pet. Now under dog, there's 8 boxes that are shaded in. So that tells us that 8 children voted the dog as their favorite pet. And then the last one is the cat. And there's 6 boxes shaded in. So that tells us that 6 children voted the cat as their favorite pet. So now that we understand what the graph is telling us and what information it's giving us, now we can go down to the questions and answer them. Okay, so number 1 says, how many children chose cats? Well, for us to figure that out, we have to go to the cat and count how many boxes are shaded in. And there are 6 boxes shaded in under the cat. So that's why I wrote 6. The next question says, how many children chose hamsters? So we go to the hamster, count how many boxes are shaded, and there's 5. So 5 children chose hamsters. How many children like dogs? So you go to the dog and count how many boxes are shaded, and we already counted them, and that told us that there were 8. So I wrote 8. Number 4 says, which pet did most children choose? Well, if we want to know which pet most of the children chose, then that means it has to have most of the boxes shaded in. And the pet that has most of the boxes shaded in is the dog. So I wrote dog. Number 5, which pet did the children choose the least? The least. The least means the pet that had the smallest amount of votes. So the hamster had the smallest amount of votes because it has the smallest amount of boxes shaded. The cat has 1 more and the dog has the most. So the hamster is the least favorite pet that was chosen by the class. So I wrote hamster there. Number 6 says how many children like dogs, or how many more children like dogs than hamsters? How many more? We did a lot of word problems when we were at school. And those 3 words, how many more, always told us that we have to subtract. So how many more children like dogs than hamsters? Well, let's see how many liked dogs. Come back up here. 8 children liked dogs, so I wrote 8. How many children liked dogs more than hamsters? So let's look at the hamster. The hamster had 5. So 8 minus 5 equals 3. So 3 more children liked dogs than hamsters. Okay? And then the last problem says, how many children in all chose cats and dogs? We know if it says in all, that means we're going to be adding. So we're going to add the amount of cats and the amount of dogs together. So let's see how many cats we have. We have 6. So I wrote 6. And then how many dogs? There's 8. So 6 plus 8 equals 14. Okay? So that's how you read and decipher a graph. You're going to be practicing graphs this week. And then on Friday, you will have a test over a graph, and the questions are going to be very similar to the ones on this page, okay? So if you have any questions, let your parents know, and they can get in contact with me, and I can help you, all right?